This is your station. This is DOTT TV. DOTT TV. DOTT TV. Yeah. DOTT TV. Yeah. DOTT TV. Yeah. DOTT TV.
DOTT TV, the heart of the matter.
We impose extra burden on the masses. I feel your pain.
Only humility will lead us to unity, and unity will lead us to peace.
Go to the market and sell your products.
Welcome to an exciting time on television, talking about DOTT Television. And the program is Press Center, where we hang out together on issues where they are astray and agenda is set and the truth is unfettered. And I am your anchor person, Godfrey Obaka, and it's a privilege indeed in this, I consider it a special edition to have a veteran journalist, a very seasoned broadcaster, in the person of Honorable Amechi Udemba. You are
so
welcome.
Much. Thank you so much, Godfrey. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you.
Great place you have.
Thank you so very much. Well, he was a special assistant to ex-Governor Ifeanyi Okowa on electronic media. Currently, he is a veteran of the APC in Aniocha North local government area of Delta State, but significantly, because it's our tradition to have veterans here astray issues, set agenda, and have truth unfettered. So I think he's here based on his high profile of being a wonderful sub-editor at the African Guardian, the flagship of African journalism and magazine journalism at that. And of course, the role he played as a sub-editor in defunct Africa Now. And as a founding staff of, a pioneer staff of the Channels Television, where he was a state correspondent, bureau chief they call them, in a number of states.
Absolutely.
And eventually came to Delta. And of course, he has had to transition from journalism to politics. And we are privileged to have him right in here, and he will be telling us how the journey has been. But do not forget that it's a special edition where we are also considering the issue of June 12th. Yeah. And it's about 33 years now since June 12th. And Nigerian democracy from then till now, how far has it gone? Are we making any significant progress? So there can be a better resource person than the honorable that I have here in the studio to discuss that. So, my big brother.
Thank you.
I can see you are feeling at home in the DOTT
Absolutely,
station.
because it's a familiar
terrain.
I've been here in the past, and I'm still very happy to be here. So I'm very comfortable.
You're most welcome anytime, any day.
Thank you so much.
Okay, to the assignment we have for today.
Yes.
33 years on, June 12th, Democracy Day. Where were you 33 years ago?
Well, 33 years ago, I was in Ghana. I actually left Nigeria to Ghana in 1992.
Interestingly.
To study journalism.
Oh, yeah.
Then
the Ghana Institute of Journalism.
Yes.
The equivalent of Nigerian Institute of Journalism.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Then thereafter, I also went to School of Communication Studies in Legon for a short course. But during the June 12th, actually, I came to Nigeria to come and vote so I could return back to Ghana. And I voted on June 12th, on the day of June 12th. I went back to Nigeria on June 13th. And we all had hopes that...
somebody will say high hopes.
Very, very high hopes. Very, very high hopes. Because you need to... You could touch the joy, the enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Nigerians, Christians,
the strength of the people.
Muslims, even traditionalists.
Coming together.
To
fashion a new Nigeria.
Absolutely. And the name M.K. Abiola was larger than life.
Yes.
God was a man that has touched everywhere in Nigeria.
Yeah. From sports
to even education. I recall that before I think 1992, he made a wonderful donation of 1 million naira each to every federal universities and state. And that 1 million naira then, 1992, you know what it means. A lot of money. Maybe now it's a bit, but then it was a lot of money then. So we all came. I came from Ghana. A lot of Nigerians came down to come and vote. I all went back, hoping that we'll hear good news and we'll begin to, because
especially with what Humphrey Nwosu fashioned out, the option
A4, which we are doing now.
Okay.
Which is a version of direct primaries.
Okay.
That the APC just used in conducting the primary election.
All right.
Now, that was the option, and it was a very transparent option, because you need to show where you are. This is not about secret voting where you go and write somebody's name. You need to queue behind their candidate. And Nigerians came out and voted for MK Abiola. They believed in MK Abiola. He was a successful businessman, and they felt that he could also manage Nigeria. Because for me, what has been the problem of Nigeria is leadership.
Exactly.
That's what Chino Achebe once said.
Yes,
in his book,
yes, The Trouble with Nigeria.
Yes, it's about leadership.
Yeah.
If we get our leadership right, Nigeria will get better. So we felt that fine. This man has been the telecommunication, aviation, publishing, and he has done very well in terms of managing resources and all the likes. And felt he could fix Nigeria. So we all voted for him.
Because Nigeria actually needed fixing.
Absolutely. And we are seeing in the trajectory of getting it right. So we all voted for MK Abiola, and we're all looking forward to the day he will be declared president. And all of a sudden, I was in Ghana. All of a sudden, there was this announcement. Unsigned, as it were. Because thank God, Babangida is still alive, and he has made it clear to us that before he will leave this earth, he wants to make up for his sin. So he has, he has announced that MK Abiola actually won the election. There was this unsigned paper by our big brother, Nduka Irabo, who was then the chief press secretary to the vice president.
Aikomo, yeah.
And that was it. Then as a student in Ghana, we felt we needed also voice our dismay, our displeasure about what has happened. So we demonstrated all through the street of Accra. There was a massive demonstration from all Nigerian students from Takoradi, Cape Coast, Legon, Northern Region University of Development Study, Winneba. Yeah. These are places in Ghana.
Yeah.
They came to meet those of us who were in Accra. And we had this very wonderful demonstration to denounce, to demand that the June 12th election should be released and the rightful owner should be sworn in. We felt Nigeria has been taken for a ride by a group of military officers, but it never happened. So that was the situation 3 years ago. But of course, our demonstration didn't end that way, because we were also arrested by then President Jerry Rawlings, and we were arrested and we were detained briefly. Many times the Nigerian ambassador then, Ola Otula, I don't know where he's still alive now, who also intervened and said, well, let these guys go. We're just exercising our right and democratic as Nigerians who felt our country needs to get, moving on the right direction. So that what happened 3 years ago.
Thank you for that retrospective look. So now, 33 years after,
yes,
and we have had some 27 years thereabout
uninterrupted.
of uninterrupted
Yeah.
democracy.
Yeah.
To what extent, you use a striking word, Nigeria needed to be fixed.
Yes.
33 years ago.
Yes.
And that was why, even as a student in Ghana,
yes,
you were very enthusiastic about your nation being fixed. 33 years after, to what extent has our democracy been able to fix the Nigerian situation?
Well, I wouldn't say it's so far so good, though there are rooms for improvement. I have always said to those that during my days when I write some articles, I used to say that if not for military intervention, and we had this democracy from 1960 to now, maybe perhaps would have done better. Because democracy to me is beyond election. It's beyond campaign for election. It's beyond a national election result. It's beyond all that. It has to do with the culture of our people.
A way of doing
things.
Yeah.
We are yet to get that right. So far, we are dealing with what I'll call the ideas of democracy. organizing election, political parties, campaign. We are about to start a season now, electing our leaders and all that. But we are yet to get democracy to be part of our life. We need to have that inbuilt so that we begin to see this country as our country. And the idea of repatriation, the idea of taking our funds away to develop other countries, will be reduced. But so far, things are working in terms of infrastructure. Key infrastructure development are taking place, right from the Obasanjo administration even to the present administration. In terms of security, something is also being done. In all facets of national life, we are doing well, though there is a lot to be done. The president of Nigeria today is trying to do better in terms of several reforms that have been put in place. Recently, I understand, I think 2 days ago, the House of Reps has passed the bill for state police.
State police, yeah.
Fantastic for me, because we can't continue to maintain this centralized police system. It can't work. It can't work. So something has to be done, and I'm happy that I know that the Senate will do a concurrent and will move in that direction. I'm also glad too that just this morning when the president made a broadcast, he said 5.1 trillion naira, for instance, have been set aside for defense and security in 2026 budget. That is good, because the issue of terrorism, banditry, and that is causing so much havoc in this country, and something drastic has to be done. So I think we are moving. In terms of voter education, people are now becoming aware that they vote, as voters, the vote is their power. I'm sure the next election that will come, something, more voting system will improve, and people will probably stand and defend their vote. Of course, you witnessed the last election where we had this obedient movement. Yeah, that's because the youth are beginning to awake. The youth are beginning to realize that this country, we can't continue to tell them they are youth, they are future leaders. Why they want to be leaders now? They begin to play that kind of role.
That's interesting. Yeah. 33 years ago, as a journalism student in Ghana,
yes,
you were part of a protest to see your country being fixed.
Yeah.
33 years after, can you take a retrospective look into the role, because you have had opportunity of playing a critical, pivotal role in media and media management in Nigeria. The press as the fourth estate of the realm.
Yeah.
Can you take a look at the role of the press in the crusade for Nigerians' independence, the role of the press in the struggle for the actualization of June 12, 27 years down the line of broken democracy? Has the press actually lived up to that traditional bidding of the fourth estate of the realm?
Yes, I can say yes, because right from the independence period, the press has always been in the forefront. I recall that even in my school in Ghana, we have a very special hall named after Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe. He started the West African pilot in Ghana with support from Nkrumah and their Pan-Africanism idea.
Exactly.
So
you remember the motto of the West African pilot? It says, "Show the light, and the people will find the way."
Absolutely. So taking it from there, they've always played the role. Coming down to Nigeria, the press, of course, which was largely a Western press, have always been in the forefront. And they have always been the one that drives the democracy. Because without the press, there's no democracy. The press, the media, is an integral part of democracy.
That's a very, very interesting point. That without the press, there can be said to be a safe and secured democracy. It's on that point we take a short break, and when we come back, my big brother, Mechi Udemba, is still in the studio to shed some more light on the press, Nigeria's democracy, and how the future can be fixed so that democracy can yield better dividends for the development of the people. See you when we come back. Welcome back to Press Center on DOTT Television. Good to know that you are still hanging out with us at the Press Center. And I still have Honorable Udemba right here with me.
Thank you.
He has had to shed quite some light on democracy, the Nigerian experience, June 12th, and the role of the press in stabilizing democracy so that the dividends can be felt out there in the street. I want to come this way. Is Nigerian democracy 33 years after June 12th and 27 years of unbroken democracy, is it under any form of threat? Do you perceive any kind of threat?
No. I don't perceive any kind of threat. I rather see Nigerians and Nigerian citizens eager to deepen democracy and ensure that democracy continue to flourish, because it's only through that process that Nigeria can develop, because democracy is the catalyst for development in terms of human development, social development.
So apparently you do not share the idea that Nigeria perhaps is gravitating towards a one-party state, which may not be ideal for a flamboyant, progressive democracy.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. It's an evolving process. I know those who want to say that one-party state because of probably some of the recent development, that most governors are moving to the ruling party in APC. But of course, there's another party that formed by our brother Serike Dixon, National Democratic
NDC.
NDC.
Yeah.
There's also the ADC. So there are rooms. Multi-party political system is the best. Of course, Babangida will always maintain that two-party system is the best. The last interview he conducted, or he said he wished that two-party system.
He had the NRC and the SDP.
So that if you sit down a little bit to the right or a little bit to the left.
Okay.
What to me, there's no one-party system. It's just a way. Though I wish that electoral reform will continue to be strengthened, so that it will be difficult for people to move from one party to the other. Because I think part of what they have done is to make it very difficult. Once you win an election or you are elected on the platform of one political party, you should remain there. The idea of cross-carpeting, because you feel that perhaps you want to jump ship to follow the other party because maybe they are getting one or two things at the federal level that you're not getting, those things will be removed. I don't believe that we are drifting towards one-party state. I believe we are deepening the process of multi-partism, and we'll get there.
How smooth has been your transition from the newsroom, as it were, where you played critical roles, to the partisan politics?
Well, in politics, it's a different ballgame. In media, there are rules. In politics, there appears to be no rules. And why I say this is this. In politics, as someone will say, if you don't want anybody to throw debt at you, don't join politics.
So as gangsterly as the newsroom is, the political space is more disorderly.
Very, very disorderly. Because without taking anything away from anybody, those who normally will not talk to you will talk to you. Those will not talk to you, and there's always this system of this idea that I'm there before you, I'm this and that, So you need to, when you get into politics, you tend to be humble. You tend to come down and study the terrain.
Yeah.
You tend to, China will say, when you get to a new environment, you walk with one leg. Yeah. So we are still walking one leg.
So the transition is still on.
So we are still trying to learn the ropes.
But nobody will take it away from you. You worked closely with the person of Senator Otto Ifeanyi Okowa as his media aide in charge of electronics media then. And currently he's going for senatorial position, wanting to return to the Senate. With your close association with him, what do you say of that kind of aspiration?
Fantastic aspiration. Fantastic aspiration, because in the last 4 years, our representative, we from that time have not felt the input and the presence of Senator Ned Nwoko. There appears to be a detach between Senator Ned Nwoko and those of us from Delta North who has gone there to
You're
represent.
talking of a disconnect?
A disconnect.
In spite of his desire for a state called Anioma State and all that?
Ubaka, let's face the fact. Anioma State is not realizable. It's not going to work. Because the process of creating a state in a democracy is very cumbersome. And we haven't even started it yet. There has to be a referendum along the way as we progress. The 36 states of our House of Assembly has to agree. Okay? So it's not a process, it's not something we can conclude in the next 20 years. If you check Nigerian history, all the states that have been created were created through military fiat. None. All what it takes for the head of state to sit and announce and say, okay, Delta, Asaba. I remember when Delta was created, I was in Lagos. And through my uncle, General Fred Chujuka, who was spokesman for the Babangida regime, he told my father, not me, that Delta State will be created. Because our people too were also clamoring for Anioma. This Anioma thing did not start today.
It started from
It started, yes. So our people were also thinking Anioma will come. And they actually went to Dodan Barak, no, not to see Babangida, but they met Chujuka. And then our brother too, who was in charge of the SSS then, one of our, I forgot his name now, was also in SSS. They said, please, you people should add their voice so that we can get Anioma. Later they came back and said, no, they're not going to be Anioma, but there was something will come. You guys watch out. My father didn't tell me.
And something came.
But it came not the way I expected.
Yes.
Because I remember that I sat before my father TV, I was expecting to hear Anioma. I heard Delta and capital Asaba. You know? And so the point is, we have not felt the presence of Ned Nwoko. To be blunt, we didn't send him there to go and pursue Anioma State. We said, go there and bring to us the dividend of democracy. Work with our governor. There should be a synergy between a senator representing in the House Assembly with the state governor so that he can work together and bring development to us. We didn't ask him to go and bring Anioma State. So, and all the while he's been there, we've not felt his presence. They have not had any town hall meeting to even acquaint us what he's doing in the House, in the Senate. So we want to have somebody who knows what to do. Senator Fanyokowa has been there before. He has been a governor for 8 years. You can't tell me anybody knows Delta State more than Senator Fanyokowa. He's going there to bring development to Delta North. He knows the needs of Delta North people. Perhaps what he was not able to finish as a governor for 8 years, because as a governor, the whole state was his constituency. Now, as a senator, Delta North will be his constituency. And I want to believe that what he was not able to do for Delta Northans as a governor, because it's not only Delta North that he has to govern, he was also in charge of Delta Central. Now he will have the opportunity to do that for us. So it's a very good development, and I'm very happy as an individual.
Okay, that's quite instructive, and it's not surprising coming from you. You worked with him and worked rather closely with him. We've had several versions of some level of severance allowance, severance package, as at the time he was exiting from the government house. And there are several versions of that account. Which version can you authenticate for us now?
Well, for sure, in a letter of appointment, there's always room for severance package. And I believe that the current government, because not him that will pay those severance package, it's the next government that will pay. And I want to believe that the current government is doing something about it, that is being handled in phases. Of course, don't forget that during Okowa time, I want to say this, he appointed so many people, because Okowa is a man of the people. He came on the strength of the people. You were here during the primaries of 2014 December.
Yeah.
Nobody gave him a chance.
Yeah.
Nobody gave him a chance. But he won because the people said, as far as it has to be in Delta North, this is the man for the job. Okay. So during his tenure, there were so many appointees. And it's not expected that the severance package will be paid at once. There are also other developmental needs that will be met by the current administration. But the current administration is doing that in phases. And people are being paid, gradually. So it will get to everybody.
Okay. So now back to Nigeria.
Yes.
Democracy.
Yes.
33 years after June 12 and 27 years of unbroken democracy. What do you think we can do better? As a journalist knows a bit of virtually everything,
yeah.
and the critical roles you played in key media outfits in Nigeria. And now you are with your people, grassroots politics. What do you think Nigeria can do better in order to fix our democracy so that we do not have any situation of this democracy failing us again, or people anticipating that a military could come in to save the situation?
The military, let me take it from the military will never and has never saved the situation. Rather, the military has compounded the situation. Military rule is an aberration. Military rule is an aberration, and we should not pray for military rule. Democracy may not have given us, we may not have gotten us there, but it's a process. It's a transition. We are moving.
Yeah.
And we'll get there. America, that we all model as the best democracy, didn't start today. Theirs have been over 200 years. Ours is just 27 years. You can't tell a child of 27 years to be more knowledgeable than a man who is 50 or 60. So Nigerians should be patient. Nigerians should be patient. As an individual, we should pray for this government. We should also speak out. I'm happy that the media space is open, unlike in the past where we had just NTA and all the rest of that. Now there are private stations, private television stations, private TV stations, just like what you have here in DOTT.
Yeah.
And at this juncture, I must commend you guys. I'm very happy. I didn't know that this is even here. Honestly, I didn't know it's even here. When you told me about this program, I thought maybe it's postcard or something. You know? Yeah, I'm happy what I've seen. And I'll appeal to DOTT to support what you guys have. Yeah. We need more of this in DOTT. Exactly. Because if we have an open media space, there will be room for Nigerians to air their grievances. There will be room for Nigerians to call the whole government to account. Because the media is the watchdog. And through you guys, the Nigerians will speak out and say, okay, we want this from Sheriff government, why this is not being done, why is this done haphazardly, and why, even in contract execution. And I hope that going forward, you guys will create a program where you look into some of these projects executed by the state government, and perhaps talk to the people through Vosport. We do that. When we were with Dr. Kowa, we had this program we call Smart Data.
Yeah. It
which
was quite significant.
Yes, which was put together by Charles Anyango, who was then the CPS.
Yes.
As I said to the media electronic, I was very key in that Smart Data. I played a very crucial role. I used to go to the field. So we're talking to people. If this road is about to be commissioned, we'll go there and find out from the users, the owners, the community where these projects are located. How will this project help your people? What are some of the things you think that would have been done that was not done?
To make it a complete component.
Yes,
exactly.
That has helped Dr. Kowa in assessing himself, and also talking to some of the contractors who may have short cut corners here and there. So the media is very important. Nigerians should continue to support this government. Nigerians should continue to reach out to the media. The media too should also find a way to reach to the people, so that together we all have a complete whole. But democracy is the best. Nobody should think about military intervention. We don't need it.
Yes, thank you so very much. Democracy is the best. We should not think democracy has no alternative for now.
Yes.
Not
even forever.
Even forever. Yeah. But people also have this feeling that for democracy to be democracy, the will of the people should be respected. Votes should count. While you were speaking earlier, you talked of option A4, brought in by Professor Humphrey Nwosu. Yeah. And the significant thing about it was that votes of Nigerians counted in their bid to restore hope. Yeah. Now we have a renewed hope. Yeah. Our votes still counting. So fast forward to 2027, how can Nigerians fight against political apathy and believe that their votes can count in determining who become their elected either president, governor, or how can we restore credibility to the electoral process?
To restore credibility in the electoral process is everybody's job. The media has a role to play. The voters also have a role to play. It's high time as Nigerians, we stop running after little incentives. You have elected people into office. They've had office in the back. Why can't you ask them to account for the one they've had before coming to ask you to be re-elected? INEC is going through some reforms. It's also important that we hold INEC to account to ensure that the right thing is done. The problem I've found out since I've been in the field as a politician is that the past, you can blame it on poverty if you like. The poverty in the land is so endemic that people go for little crumbs. And once they do that, they vote and walk away. It's important that after voting, you stay behind to ensure that your vote, because they will count the vote on the spot there. If there's going to be any fraud, if they're going maybe in transmitting to the portal and all the rest, but they will count stay behind and ensure that your vote, that when they are counting, the right thing is the returning officer comes out with the right figure that they cast. We should not vote and just walk away. We should stay behind and defend our vote. So it's a call to all Nigerians. We should learn to defend our vote. We should, if there's anything that if you think our vote will not follow through, there should be advocacy. There should be peaceful protest. I believe in peaceful protest to draw attention to anomalies where they occur. Yeah. So Nigerians should cultivate that habit. The media themselves too should also be, follow through and ensure that the right thing is done. When you feel that elections that are conducted are not transparent enough, the media should be courageous enough to speak out. The people too should be courageous enough to speak out. There are peaceful protests to do that. It must not be violent. There are peaceful, and I believe that what is done, those that will listen. I recall that when there were some alleged attempts, I want to use the word alleged, that the current administration has a hand in trying to destabilize ADC. There were protests. Until the Supreme Court gave their ruling that gave some kind of soft landing, if you like, to David Mark-led ADC, so that there will be opposition. The other one, so Nigerians should learn to express their grievances. And our people should also resist the temptation of collecting little this from. They should interrogate those who step up to be elected. The question should be asked, what have you done in the past and what are you going to do now if we give our vote? Our vote should be treated as a very sacred material that should not be just be thrown away that way. So I want to appeal to Nigerians, but I believe that will come because, as I said, 2027 is going to be different from 2023. 2031, by God's grace, is also going to be different from 2027. As we progress more, we'll continue to learn the ropes. Nigerians, it's getting better. It's getting better. As I told you, in 2023, the youth, despite whatever incentive, went forbidden because they felt, that is their man. Eventually, the INEC announced Bola Tinubu as the winner, and we all moved ahead. I wasn't an obedient. My boss was the vice president to Atiku. So we worked for PDP then. And we did all we could to win. But when the results started coming in right on the field there, we knew that our youth have taken over the show and we had to allow it to go.
Yes, you have spoken glowingly, and you talked about the travails of ADC, David Mark, how the judiciary came in, some level of soft landing and all that. Some schools of thought believe that for democracy to be healthy, that the opposition should be allowed to breathe. Given our current scenario, you are a member of the APC, understandably so.
Yeah.
Is the opposition breathing well in Nigeria's democratic space?
It depends on what you mean by breathing well. I don't see anything that the present administration has done, the APC-led administration at the federal level has done, that has muzzled the opposition. I don't see anything. They'll be raised up by INEC. No, INEC is not refusing any registration for any of the political parties.
Yeah, there is this belief that some of the internal issues they are having, are not traceable to administrative failures or whatever, but that they are rather interference from either the ruling party or the federal government in order to ensure that they do not stabilize. In the absence of opposition, how healthy is a democracy?
Of course, there's no democracy without opposition. But I also want to tell you that if there's any interference, it's all part of the dynamics of politics.
Dynamics of politics.
Absolutely. It's all part of dynamics of politics, you know. But as a politician, you want to remain in power. As a politician, you think you have a vision and you want to see it through. Okay? So it's part of political interplay. Part of political interplay. Don't forget that political parties are being managed by individuals. Okay? And yeah, it may not be interference from the federal government, but these individuals also have their own aspirations. Political parties should learn to manage the individual aspirations. They should learn to manage those aspirations. When you're not able to, I recall when I saw the amalgam of personalities in ADC, my first response was, who is going to be president? How would they manage an Amechi, Rotimi Amechi? How would they manage the political ambition of Atiku Abubakar? How would they manage political ambition of Peter Obi? How would that of Kwakwanso? Now, Kwakwanso and Obi has moved. I can tell you because of inability to manage this conflicting ambition. That's why they have moved. Don't blame it on APC-led federal government. Okay. You know, so political parties, be it those in power and those in opposition, should learn to manage their internal affairs. Learn to manage the individual ambition of their members. Everybody cannot be president. Everybody cannot be governor. They should learn to manage it. If they are not able to manage it, it's not about the federal government or not about the party leader that is interfering. And that's why I said earlier that I don't see any interference. It's just their inability to manage their internal affairs. That's all.
Okay. The government of Sheriff Oborowori in Delta State has been known for some landmark constructions of flyovers and all that. And I know you reside in Okpanam, just a stone throw away from the government house. Yeah. What is the road network situation in your area?
Very deplorable. Very deplorable. And I'm happy you've used the opportunity to ask me, because I also want to add my voice to our wonderful governor, Governor Sheriff Oborowori. He's a man, he's a very good man. He has the passion for Deltas, and he loves Deltas. Yeah. All his projects, not some, are top-notch. And I'm very delighted, because this is a man who wants to make a name and is committed in doing so. I want to appeal to him to please look at Amacha Obozoma Road in Akpana. Akpana is just next door neighbor to Asaba.
I hear the population there is quite dense.
Very dense, and a lot of civil servants and Deltas. And these are voters, these are people that believe in Sheriff. These are people that voted massively in the last election. PDP, they were in PDP. PDP won Akpana massively. And now we are rainy season. The place is it's unpassable. I couldn't come to your city with my car. I had to come with a keke because I couldn't drive through because it rained this morning. So I had to just find my way here because I didn't want to disappoint. So I had to leave my car and just get into a keke and get to this place. So I'm appealing to him that Obozoma or Amacha, their roads should be looked into. If that can be done now, fine. It's part of what you want to do first quarter and second term, because I know by special grace of God, he will get his second term. We are still committed to that. As now APC members, we will vote for him massively. We are going to we started working already. He's going to win. There's no vacancy in government house at Saba. So I want to appeal to you that even if that can be done in first term or the second term, we'll be glad.
When a veteran journalist becomes a partisan politician, of course, wars become used almost like Arsenal, as it were. It's been an exciting moment in this edition of Press Center on DOTT Television, where issues are x-rayed, agenda set, and truth is unfettered. And it's been quite fulfilling sharing this space and this hour with a veteran broadcaster, a veteran, a seasoned journalist, and now a grassroots politician in the person of Honorable Amechi Udemba. I can assure you one thing. We can just but take a pause in this edition because I do know that he will return because we need him regularly here, even as a resource person. Thank you so very much. Thank you very much for coming over. And it's on that note that we want to thank you for investing your time and believing in DOTT Television, and especially as it has to do with Press Center. Keep a date with us as we come to you again with Truth Unfettered. Thank you so very much for staying tuned. Stay blessed.
We impose extra burden on the masses. I feel your pain.
Only humility will lead us to unity, and unity will lead us to peace.
Go to the market and sell your products.
This is your station. This is DOTT TV. DOTT TV. DOTT TV. Yeah. DOTT TV. Yeah. DOTT TV. Yeah. DOTT TV.
DOTT TV, the heart of the matter.